Hello everyone, this is Wes Cole. I haven't been on the internet in a while. I've been on the internet lightly, but I haven't done a video in a while, I guess I should say. It's Thursday, it's March 7th, 2013, and there's been a lot going on the last couple days, and I just felt the need to do a video. I have a group that I admin with someone who's close to me. It's called Vote Progress. It's on Facebook, and we're not a political. We do handle political stuff, but we're basically progressive issues, liberal issues. Pro environment, pro equality for all people. We're pro environment. Anti-war, anti-drone. We're all those kind of things that progressives and liberals stand for. So it's not really. It is. We do have political affiliations as far as how we vote. We usually vote for the guy who's going to be more progressive, obviously, because that's what we believe in. But anyway, I just want to bring up a couple ideas or a couple suggestions. Yesterday with the, we're trying to do the confirmation of John Brennan as the new CIA director, and we all know about the big filibuster that happened yesterday with Rand Paul and some of the other people. I think Ted Cruz and there was 12 or 13 of them. I don't know exactly how many, but to get to the point of what I'm making, I am anti-drone and I am anti-war, and I will say that I do agree with the issues on that. Whether it warranted a big long filibuster is another whole story, because I think whatever happens, the government's going to do anyway, personally. But the thing that bothers me just a little bit is that we've been droning countries overseas for a long time. And I'm not really hearing anybody, on the right, talk about that. You know what I'm talking about? And as well as the Iraq War, which was a big debacle. That was a war that was sold on lies. And it seems to me like the only thing I hear coming out of the far hard right wing, or the Benghazi situation, which is obviously horrible. But I mean, 4 people dead is, 4 patriotic Americans dead is horrible, but I mean, we're talking 1 million people in Iraq, and that was over lies about weapons of mass destruction, which didn't even exist, And the thing that concerns me a little bit right now with this drone thing here in the United States is no, I don't think the United States should be droning its own people. Obviously, I don't feel that way. No one does, But on the other hand, I got to tell you, the same people that are speaking against that aren't saying much about all these anti-Obama, anti-government groups that are rising up militia style, who honestly pose a huge threat to this country. In fact, they pose a much huger threat than any radical Islamic group ever could or would. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what I'm saying, well, then you're not being honest. But to get to the point, I mean, we've got a government here. We just had an election, and the people spoke. Obama won in a landslide as far as electoral goes, and he also won by 5 million votes in the popular vote. And I can assure you there were probably just about everybody that was going to vote for Mitt Romney did vote, and I can tell you right now there's probably 10 million people that were minorities that probably couldn't even get to the polls that would have voted for Obama. So I mean, the country has spoken. We are a democracy, and we should honor and respect that, even if it's not your guy didn't win. I didn't like it when Bush was in for 8 years, but I didn't put together a militia and act like I was going to try to overthrow the government. But this gets back to my point where, when you have a lot of hard right-wing factions talking this kind of nonsense, perhaps it's not hard to understand why the country would say there could be reasons why we would drone American people. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking to have another civil war, If y'all I don't want to call you rednecks, but all you gun-toting, NRA-loving people, if your whole life revolves around guns, that's fine and dandy, but keep away from me, because that's not what I'm about. I have much better things and much more interest in my life, things that are more entertaining, that are safe, that are just more respectable than spending my whole life worrying about a Second Amendment. You know what I'm saying? The Second Amendment isn't going anywhere anyway. But I'll tell you this right now, if to these militia people, if you think you can just rise up, you lost the election, okay? So if you want to go to war with the government, well, good luck, because you might get droned, and if you do, then you ask for it yourself, as far as I'm concerned. Now, having said that, I'm anti-war. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want to see a bunch of rednecks running around with guns acting like they're going to overthrow the country when we just had an election and we voted, and the man who won is what the people wanted. That's the majority. Now, if we want to switch to a different type of political system altogether, that's fine. We can talk about that. Or if we want to have successions from the Union, that's fine with me. I mean, all the people who don't agree with Obama, I'd love to have them they can go on one side of the state, and then us progressives will stay on the other, and we can still be allies even. But it really, it irks me terribly, and it kind of pisses me off, honestly, when I see so much of the hard right wing are so pro-gun and hold on to our guns and anti, Obama's going to get rid of guns and this and that, and militias and hate groups are growing, and then we have this big filibuster about why the government shouldn't allow droning of American people. Well, the same people who are talking against droning the American people might want to start talking to these militias about this is not right either. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're going to start threatening a government, you might get some feedback. You might get some kickback. In fact, you may get a lot more than you bargained for. So the point I'm trying to make here is that, until the country comes together and supports the democracy we live in, the Constitution, which is what we go by, and I am by no means a constitutionalist. I believe in progress. I think the whole thing needs to be updated personally. That's my personal opinion. I'm saying that as an American citizen who has served in the 82nd Airborne, and I have no problem saying that to anyone in the whole world, you know what I mean? But having said that, until things change, we have to live with what we have, you know what I'm saying? And so, do I think that we should allow the government to drone American people? Absolutely not. But if we're going to have a bunch of militias running around trying to overthrow the country, and I'm not really interested in getting in a war, okay? I'm not interested in shooting anyone or getting shot. So if the government has to do what they have to do to keep these crazies from taking over and forcing a country down our throats that we haven't voted for, well then you know what? I know whose side I'm on, okay? So anyway, this may be the first person who's made this kind of contrast towards this whole thing, because again, I do agree with the fact that, Rand Paul is anti-war, I'm anti-war. That may be all we agree on, but you got to address all the issues, Rand, if you're going to, start addressing just the government issues, okay? So that's all I want to say for now. I do love America. I am, I have Republican friends. I have, obviously a lot of liberal and progressive friends. I don't have a lot of hard right-wing friends just because I just don't really, we just have nothing in common, and what's the point, But anyway, just think about some of the things I said, and I do want to say God bless America. Let's move forward, and let's think about what we're doing and saying. And in closing, when I watch Fox News, and like Bill O'Reilly getting all stirred up, I mean, the hate that comes out against Obama is just fueled by, Fox News and all these radical groups that are on the internet, all these Tea Party types that no matter what goes on, they're not going to go with it. You know what I mean? They want to have it their way. They don't know what democracy means. It's either their way or the highway. And you know what? If something comes to a head, and you try to overthrow the government, good luck, because I can promise you won't last long, and I certainly don't want to see that happen. But the points I've made previously, I think should make one understand why the government might be a little bit concerned, okay? So think about what you do and what you say, and if you live by the sword, you will die by the sword, okay? And I'm glad I don't live by the sword. So anyway, I love everyone. It's Wes Cole. I'm signing out. Have a lovely day. Peace out.